Hi. So, hi and welcome to this little presentation. This will be a kind of a follow-up thing to some ranting I did earlier this year in February. I got quite some okay feedback on the first iteration. So I thought I could give it another try. So last time it was on rather short notice. I took the approach to have more a high-level view on things and think about things in general, not really technically. So this time I'll try to do the same. And first of all, I'd kind of like to introduce myself. My name is Joernchen, or Joernchen by handle. I'm doing security consulting since 11 years now at the same company still. So this whole job changing thing isn't really my stuff. So for security consulting for me usually is going on a project on a week or 2 weeks basis and doing either a code review, design review, pen test, like all this usual stuff you do, and just getting paid, looking at things and complaining that they are not secure. I just wanted to talk a bit about not the business side this time, but more like really hacking in a greater sense. So the job is actually just the job, and when you make your hobby, like it was for me, a job, you suddenly don't have a hobby anymore. And this was kind of a big deal at the point of time when I needed to find a new hobby besides hacking, because yeah, that was suddenly the job. And the other way around, it also kind of not works, because just if you put a suit on a hacker, you can tell it's a hacker by the ski mask. If you put a suit on a hacker, that doesn't make a security consultant. For me, it was more like an interest kind of thing, which then turned out to pay the rent. In a broader sense, hacking is always a term which is coined very often. So what is hacking? And if you do just a Google search and look at the images for hacking, it's pretty obvious what hacking is. It involves black hoodies, computers, and green symbols on the screen. So the color green seems to be rather important. Sometimes blue, but I see more green usually. So yeah, there are even hacking. There are even people who hack things which are not really related to computers. So I heard already the term food hacking, and when I checked it out, I was really thinking, oh, my mom is a hacker. When she cooked lunch for me, she was food hacking. But then again, I think in a greater sense, the term hacking, at least for me, boils then down to doing something in a way it was not intended to be done, achieving something with unintended actions, and like even this is not like too sophisticated hacking, right? If you're going to some host, observe the robots.txt file and find a path in there which no search engine ever should crawl, and you just open this and find a directory listing, and there are all the backups or stuff like this. I mean, people went to jail for just this kind of hacking, and this is not even really sophisticated, and it's easily scriptable. So in terms of, I mean, it's one thing you should know and can do, but it's nothing which is really what I would call a clever hack. But obviously this is hacking. This is like when you can write kernel modules with a hex editor, and then you're a great hacker. So this is not exactly hacking. What's wrong here? Let's just fix this hack stump. I mean, this is now hacking. This is now serious hacking, right? Might be even black hat hacking. Yes. So actually, we have so many things to look at and techniques to explore and stuff to hack. So we can go from simple website scraping up to kernel rootkits or whatever binary reversing exploitation. Like, there are so many topics, and there are like security conferences all around the world almost every day. This is like the nice thing in retrospective, that like when all this started, there was not much, and now there's so many. We'll never get jobless, basically. This is kind of good, because I need to pay my rent, but it's also kind of bad because shitty software pops up here and there and everywhere, just in a matter of no time. So it's just the term hacking itself is just so broad, and has gotten so broad. I mean, it started, as far as I know, with some railroad club at the MIT, where they first defined this term, and then it was turned into something computers. And now, if you're using your toaster upside down, you're a food hacker, maybe. I don't know. But there's another thing which is really a thing right now when it comes to IT security and hacking. People tend to really beg for attention and need shiny websites and logos and names for vulnerabilities, which I personally totally dislike. And this example, well, this 1991 Crack article describes a technique how to use a zip file to traverse directories when this zip file gets unpacked. So this is 27 years old, and just recently this year, some company decided to make a big website about this technique and make a logo and just make a real buzz about it. This is definitely kind of ridiculous in my opinion, but still, so this is where it goes to. It goes from hobbyists, like I used to be, turning into people who get money for doing their hobby, and then you suddenly got kind of competition and got to make marketing and logos. But with respect to logos, there's only, I think, one really legit bug which deserved its logo. This was Holy Beep, and Holy Beep as a whole was an insanely genius thing. So the actual beep bug was quite interesting on a technical level, and the whole delivery on the dedicated website was brilliant, up to a point that what's often been overlooked, the patch the Holy Beep team delivered contained another vulnerability within patch. So actually, if you would apply the holy beep patch, it would run a command while you patching your beep. So they just sneaked in an O-day in their patch for their bug in beep, which in like rare conditions would lead to local privilege escalation. So this was more than genius, but this just like this is for me this is really beyond IT security. This is pure art to deliver. This is a complete thing with a website and a patch, and the patch contains an O-day, and people just figure afterwards. This is brilliant, and this deserves like some more kind of acknowledgement, I think. And they got a pony for the overhype bug, but still that's really not enough, I think. We have to praise such people more. But for the holy patch or the holy exploit, we could just go over to what hackers produce. Like, at least if you look at the results, you write exploits. Sometimes you write exploits, right? And this is someone just having finished an exploit and running it the first time against a random target in the internet. This is how you feel, like super happy. It works. It works on all machines. My exploit is the greatest. Then again, what is an exploit? What is even an exploit? It's not really obvious sometimes, as we just had the robots.txt example. If you just download something from a publicly accessible directory, would you already exploit maybe a configuration issue? It's all like pretty vague sometimes, but we can be pretty sure if we see this, then we got an exploit. Right? This must be it. If we can run code, we've won. Luckily, there is there's some theory being applied on exploitation. There was a paper called Weird Machines, Exploitability and Provable Unexploitability by Harvard. It's a theoretical approach, and for me the main takeaway here was that he showed two pieces of code which implemented the same thing, one in an exploitable way and one in a provable unexploitable way, under a certain assumption what the attacker can do. In that case, it was, I think, flip a bit. And I just want like my high-level observation here to point out the exploitable code and the unexploitable variant. Even if you cannot read it, there's something you can directly notice about those two. Well, the exploitable variant obviously has more code, and the provable unexploitable variant has less code, and more code is more dangerous, obviously. That's like a general problem. I already talked about, like in the first iteration of this, me ranting on stage, of piles of code. This is like where it gets to, and this is what brought us in the situation that we can now create logos for vulnerabilities, because they are so common. You got to put a logo on it, so you get some attention about it, and you can sell your services better. We have so many layers of abstraction and so much code piled on top of each other just to then write a letter or show a photo or do whatever with your smartphone or your computer, you really cannot see the thing as a whole anymore. You cannot understand it from the silicon up to the last part of the software stack, because it's way too complex. It wouldn't just fit, I think, in one person's brain anymore to understand everything and how it works together. And this is this is also the problem with this provable exploitability, provable unexploitability, because this paper used a very simple program, which did very simple things. And the approach was to design the allowed states and the allowed transition of states, and an exploit by that definition in the paper would be something which can make a state transition which is not intended. But when you look at your smartphone and start the browser, do you know all allowed state transitions? Can anybody like? So we cannot really we cannot really express anymore what should be working and what not, and which way, especially when we have so many layers of abstraction. But the other way around, an exploit is always, if it works, it's always a definite proof of that you can achieve what you just came to achieve. So this is very constructive. So exploits are good. Constructive is good, right? So this is basically my main conclusion. You can either be happy or sad about the sheer amount of software and like the endless possibilities of finding vulnerabilities and vulnerable patterns and bugs and writing exploits. This can be good in a sense that we all can keep our jobs, and is bad because like software breaks and actually we want to use it. So you're not always in the attacker or consultant perspective. You also like kind of are a user and you want your shit to be protected anyhow. So actually like the C64 was like, it's just here as an example for something when this frag paper I mentioned came out. That was roughly the time the C64 was like more a decent computer than it's nowadays. So this computer you could at least almost completely understand, which is like I think not possible anymore today. And this gives us also all these broad topics we can choose from if we want to go into security, like IoT, SCADA, embedded, web, client side, server side, so many topics, kernel, whatnot. Pick one, try to get good at it, and yeah, thanks for your time.